Hello, and welcome to Modern Skills in English. Today, we're talking about a feeling that almost every student knows, the feeling that you are always behind.
It's horrible. I made a perfect schedule for this week. I planned everything. It's only Tuesday and I'm already failing. I skipped my morning review because I was tired. Now the whole day feels wrong. And last night, I felt so guilty just for watching a movie. It felt like I was wasting my life, not using every second to be better. Why do I always feel like I'm not doing enough?
And what if that guilt isn't a sign that you need to work harder? What if it's a signal that the system you're using is designed to make you fail?
What do you mean, the system? I made the schedule. It feels like I'm the one who failed.
Most students believe that the solution to feeling behind is more discipline or a better schedule. They search for a new productivity hack that will finally fix them. But the real problem isn't your effort. It's the expectation behind the effort.
The expectation to work hard? But isn't that a good thing?
It can be, but many modern productivity ideas treat the human brain like a computer. They suggest we can schedule every minute and expect a perfect result. We try to optimize our lives like we optimize an application. But people aren't computers. We get tired, we get distracted, we have emotions, and when reality happens, the perfect plan breaks.
Exactly. My schedule felt so motivating on Sunday night, but by Tuesday morning, it just felt like a list of my failures.
Let's look at that schedule. That's the first turning point. Many students believe they need a perfect, detailed plan for every day.
Yes, of course. A plan gives you clarity. It tells you exactly what to do. I see people online with these beautiful color-coded calendars. They seem to have total control over their lives.
They look like they have control, but that desire for total control is often a trap. Life is unpredictable. A friend calls with a problem, a lesson is more confusing than you expected, you wake up feeling sick. Any small, normal event can break a perfect schedule. And what happens when a perfect schedule breaks?
You feel like a failure, and then you think, what's the point? And you give up on the whole day, maybe the whole week.
Exactly. The system is too fragile. It demands perfection, and when it doesn't get it, it collapses. The problem is that the schedule itself is too rigid.
So a rigid schedule is the problem. What's the alternative? No schedule at all? That sounds like chaos.
Not chaos, just a different level of planning. Instead of a rigid plan for the day, what about a flexible intention for the week?
What's the difference?
A rigid plan says, I will study Chapter 3 on Tuesday from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. An intention says, my goal this week is to understand Chapter 3. The first plan fails if you feel tired on Tuesday at 2 p.m. The second plan allows you to study when your energy is best. Maybe that's Wednesday morning or for 1 hour on Thursday and 1 on Friday. The goal is the same, but the path is flexible. You are no longer judged by the clock, but by your progress.
That actually feels much lighter. So I can move things around without feeling like I failed my own plan. Okay, I see that. But there's another problem. Even if I'm flexible, I feel like I should be making progress every single day. If I understood 5 pages yesterday, I should understand 6 pages today. But it never works like that.
You've just described the second turning point, the illusion of constant linear progress.
It feels like it should be real. If I put in the effort, I should see the results, up and up and up. On social media, you see people posting about their daily achievements. It looks like a straight line to success.
But learning is never a straight line. It's more like a confusing spiral. You might feel brilliant one day and then completely lost the next day, even when studying the same topic. Most students interpret this as failure. They think, I'm going backwards.
Yes, that's exactly it. It's so frustrating. It makes me want to quit.
But that feeling of confusion is essential. It's often a sign that your brain is working hard to connect new ideas to old ones. It's trying to consolidate the information.
So when I feel confused, it might actually be a good sign?
It can be. Think of it like this. Progress isn't a race. It's more like growing a garden. Some days you plant seeds. That's when you learn new material. Some days you water them. That's when you review and practice. And some days it just looks like dirt. Nothing seems to be happening, but under the surface, the roots are growing stronger. The confusion is the work happening underground. Expecting to see a new flower every day is impossible. It guarantees disappointment.
A garden? I like that. It's a natural process, not a factory that has to produce the same number of products every hour. But this brings up the biggest problem for me, Sarah, the guilt. Even if I have a flexible plan and I accept that progress is messy, I still feel guilty when I rest.
And that is the most important turning point of all, the belief that rest must be earned.
Well, yes. You work hard, you finish your tasks, and then you get a reward. The reward is rest. Watching a movie, playing a game, seeing friends. You can't do that first.
Why not?
Because I haven't done anything to deserve it yet.
Many people believe this. Society teaches us that rest is a prize for finishing our work. But for a student, is the work ever truly finished?
No, never. There's always the next chapter, the next assignment, the next exam. There is an infinite amount of work I could be doing.
So if rest is a reward for finishing, and the work is never finished, when do you get to rest?
You don't. Or when you do, you feel anxious because you know you should be studying. You're telling me that's wrong?
I'm suggesting a new way to think. Rest is not the reward for the work. Rest is a prerequisite for the work.
A prerequisite? Something you need before?
Yes. Think of a professional athlete. Does a world-class runner only sleep after she wins the race? No. Sleep, nutrition, and recovery are part of her training. They are what make winning possible. She sees rest as a critical part of her job. For a student, your brain is your primary tool. Rest isn't lazy. It's how you maintain and sharpen that tool. Guilty rest is not real rest. It doesn't refresh you.
So I should schedule rest like it's an important appointment?
Exactly. Put it in your calendar first, not last. Protect that time, because high-quality work comes from a well-rested mind, not a tired one that is forcing itself to focus. This all sounds nice, Sarah, it really does. But let's be realistic. The most successful students I know, the ones at the top of the class, they seem to work all the time. They have incredible self-discipline. Aren't you just giving me a sophisticated excuse to be lazy?
That is a fair question, and it's what your guilt is probably telling you. But I want you to consider this. What you see as constant work might actually be a much smarter system. They may not be working more hours than you. They are likely just working with more focus during their work hours because their rest hours are truly restful. So they don't feel the guilt?
They might, but they've learned to manage it. They understand that a system built on guilt is not sustainable.
Sustainable, right. I can force myself to work for 12 hours one day, but then I'm useless for the next 2 days. That's not sustainable.
Exactly. The goal isn't a single heroic day of perfect work. The goal is a good average over weeks and months. The student who works with focused energy for 4 hours and then takes a deliberate break will achieve more over a semester than the student who works for 8 exhausted hours, full of distraction and anxiety.
So it all connects. I feel behind because I have a rigid schedule that breaks easily. Then I get frustrated because I expect my progress to be a perfect straight line, which is impossible. And I can never truly recover because I think rest is a reward I haven't earned, when really it's a prerequisite for any good work in the first place.
And what happens when you put all those stressful beliefs together?
You create a system that guarantees you will feel anxious and behind. Wow, it's not a personal failure. It's a system failure.
So how could we describe a better system?
The gardener analogy feels right. I guess the goal isn't to build a perfect machine that never stops. It's more like being a gardener. I can't force a plant to grow faster by yelling at it. I just have to give it the right conditions. Sunlight and water are the focused work, but the plant also needs the night. It needs periods of darkness to rest and grow. The guilt I feel is like yelling at the plant for not growing at midnight.
That's a beautiful way to see it. That kind of system, the gardener system, is sustainable. It allows you to consolidate your learning over time without burning out. It requires deliberate periods of rest as a non-negotiable part of the process.
So the feeling of being behind, it wasn't about my speed. It was about my direction. I was running toward a finish line that doesn't exist.
And now you can choose a different path. Hello, everyone. We hope this was helpful. If there's another feeling or challenge you face as a student that you'd like us to explore, please let us know in the comments below. We read them all.